Hi there guys, this is Farmer Bob. Welcome to my channel guys. Also back on another video on map making. always nice to share stuff guys. So yes, hope you are all strapped in and ready to roll. Grab your favorite drink and whatever you like. Yeah, just come join me. I'm gonna talk today about sound, how to manipulate the sound on your map and how to add sound and remove sound and change sound and how the sound actually work. Before we get stuck into that, if this is your first time, just want to say a warm welcome to you. Hit the subscribe and the like button now, because yes, here on the channel we have lots of fun and we learn a lot. I share what I know and you guys share what you know. That's just how we all learn together. So that's awesome, man. Big thank you also to my supporters of the channel. You guys are awesome. Great to be involved in the Farmer Bob's map making video series. If you want to join on that, there's a nice link in the description as well to my Patreons. You can just jump in there. The moment you subscribe there, you'll get all the video links for that map making series that we are doing. Great guys. So anyways, the sound. How does the sound on the maps work? Well, the first thing that we have to do is just mute my phone, because otherwise we're going to be bothered with phones and whatever. So here we go. The sound, guys. If you open your map, the very first thing that you can go into is view and show and say audio sources. And immediately on this map, for instance, you'll immediately notice there's no sound on this map. But how is that possible? The thing is, the sound is running outside of the map in its own R3D and XML, so it gets configured externally. That's just how the sound is set up. I think in the FS19 maps, if I remember correctly, I think it was still the same thing. Yeah, it was the same setup, still the same setup. The R3D for the sound is external, it's not part of the map. But you can, however, if for instance, if you want to have a look at some sounds like, say, building sounds and that kind of stuff, let us just drop something into the map. Let's handle that type of thing first. So I'm going to put a little windmill in here, and once we have the windmill in there, we can have a look at its sound. So that is sound that's in the map. It's not part of the map sounds, all right? So there's a difference in that kind of thing. So I just want to quickly jump in here to my backup drive and grab just a little mod there. I've got this one here. I just want to copy that and drop it into the test map. Maps, Map Alpine, Placeables. I'll just drop it in here. Great, and there it is. So now we can just import that quick and go File, Import. Map Alpine, mods test map, Map Alpine. I just want to make sure I'm in the right spot. Placeables, and then wind pump and old squeaky. Alright, so now we have something in the map, and immediately you will find, the moment you place that, you will see that it produces a nice little thing for us. I just want to grab it, Control and B to place it, and there you are. Now the white, if you look at this thing around, that is your sound perimeter, how far it is set. If you open your window for attributes, you'll see that under windmill, if we go to the actual sound thing, the metal squeak, it's got a little sound box on it like a speaker. You can see that little audio box, and then if you go to audio here, you can see what it is playing. There's the file that it is playing. It's squeak01 loop.ogg. Normally all your sound files is WAV files, but I found if you make them OGG files, they call it WAV files in the name in any way, but it's actually an OGG file, so it's just a little bit of a different thing. So if you want to make your own sounds, just do it in an OGG. However, a WAV file will also work, but you might get things saying that, and remember, the sound needs to be mono, not stereo. So 8-bit mono, and that's it. Save it like that as an OGG file, and you won't have a problem. Just want to run quickly to that little wind pump and have a look at the OGG. It should be here. There it is. All right, windmill squeak. So that's the audio file that it actually selected here to play. Now what's going to happen is you can do the range here. You see the outside circle is the range that the sound is going to travel. So if we make that 100, it should go bigger, like so, just to give you an idea. And then it's got an inside circle. Inner range is normally used for triggers if you walk past the thing. I'm not too sure if the range, the inner range runs the trigger. I might be talking a bit trash. And then obviously the volume, guys. Volume 0.2 is actually quite high, and it works from 0 to 1. 1 being 100%, and 0.2 is if you consider now, think of your tractor sound in your game itself. I've got my tractor sound at 30% or 40%, I think. And it's still loud when you play the game, you know. So just be aware of that, not to make your sound volume too high. If it's something that you want to be an overpowering sound, like a sawmill or whatever, you might take it up to 7 or so, you know, 0.7. But anyway, that's just a few tips there on the sounds. Alright, so that is how you can view the sounds in your map, if there is anything with sounds, and you can manipulate it. However, you can you can't manipulate, for instance, the file here for the audio. If you want to change the audio for this, you're going to change the audio in the actual placeable. For instance, I just want to get to the folder. So you're going to change this audio file just by renaming your new audio file to the same name, and it will work. If you need to do a change on the name of it, you're going to have to open the i3D of the actual placeable and then find its audio file in there. You'll see it is somewhere located. Old Squeaky, that's the shapes file. I should be on top here by the files. Windmill Squeak, there it is. So you can change the name in there, and Bob's your uncle. It will work. Alright, excellent, guys. So that is the sound in the map. Now we're going to look at your map sound. Say, for instance, your map has got, let me just quickly close that up and take the view down, or we can lift the view up. Now, how the map sounds work is you've got ambient sounds going around the map, like dogs barking in the distance, ambulances, birds, and wind, and all kinds of sounds that's on the map, you know. So that runs on an i3D file, and it is configured via the XML once you start your map in the game. Alright, so you won't have sound in the game here. Even if you press the play button, there won't be any sound, because your map i3 does not have the ambient sounds in it. It's external. Alright, so here we go. If you go into your test map, I'm here in my test map. Just want to have a look quickly. In map Alpine, there's the root. So you'll find 3 files: the sound XML, the sound i3D, and the sound shape files. So those 3 files you find there. If your map does not have sound files in somewhere, anywhere in the map, the first and easiest way to figure out where your sound is open your map XML and then find the thing that says sounds. There it is. And here you can see mine is pointing directly into my map Alpine folder, and then the sound XML should be listed there. If you're saying dollar data maps, map Alpine, or whatever, it means that your sound is configured from one of the in-game maps. Then you need to copy. What you can do then is grab that sound file where it's pointing, change this directory to your own map, take the dollar data out and put your own directory in here. So like mine is test map, maps, map Alpine, and the sound file is listed here. Then you copy those 3 files, the sound XML, the sound i3D, and the sound i3D shapes file. Those 3 you just copy into your map folder, and now you can modify your map sounds. Alright, so I'm going to quickly show you how that works. And remember to do your map XML, change that directory to point to the new sound XML in your own map. Alright, so once you've done that, you've got sound that you can configure in your own map. Alright, so the next thing, guys, is open the sound XML. I'll quickly show you how this operates. This is just an info here. You can read all the settings here, what they mean and whatever. And then you've got the actual samples, the environment. That's your environment sound. These sample sounds like wind main, wind low layer, wind winter loop, wind strong, And you can go through all of these. There's rain and there's thunder, rain in vehicle. There's actually sounds in the vehicle as well, guys, because your rain in vehicle is a little bit softer than the rain outside. That's basically what it is. Thunder. And then what's so nice about this is just environment sounds. But I'm going to show you now how to see where they are and whatever once you're in the map. Here's fauna, morning chorus 01, for instance. Just going to grab this one. Fauna is now animals, all right? There's crickets. There's some more crickets, a lot of crickets. And then there's a raven. And then you've got your different animals that comes in different seasons. So you look at this summer, spring, for instance. While the sun is shining, blackbird is playing. Blackbird wet. While it's raining, I suppose the wet is for rain. Dry, blackbird, dry 01, so all those kind of things. Now, how these things work is they don't play everywhere you are on the map. Some of them do. They are, doesn't matter where you are. I just want to get to grab one of them quick. Let's have a look at this wind leaves. That will be an ambient sound. You'll see the ambient or the environment section will be sounds that plays anywhere on the map where you are. So if you want to change something on the environment sounds, you'll grab them in here or you will add to them. Say for instance you want to add the bird to the environment sound. You'll take this whole section here, make a copy, add copy and paste, and then add this the WAV file into your own map directory here, and then you'll just change the variations of that WAV file. You're going to have 3 of them, and the variations is maybe just so that it doesn't get bored the same thing over and over. So you're going to need 3 of them to give you that variation. All right, and then the loops. The min loop and max loop means it will at least play this one time, and then the volume obviously, fade out, min trigger delay seconds. I'm not too sure if the triggers is in for the environment sounds is really relevant, because the trigger sounds normally when you walk into that white circle, it will trigger the sound after a few seconds, and then it will start playing that sound. So in the environment section, I don't think that's too much to worry about. But what's interesting is if you go to fauna, for instance, or that's still part of environment. Dry, I just want to have a browse, drown, dry, wet, dry, wet, dry, wet, dry, wet. Rain, snow, there's a lot of stuff there. Yeah. Then what you can do then obviously is just drop your own sound. Like I said, make a copy of that top one or wherever and add your own sound in there. Modifying it a little bit here and there, and you'll get it to play in that environment sound. All right, so the next thing we want to have a look at is if we pull this i3D of ours into the map, just to get an idea of where what is, and how it's working. So all you can do is just file import, and you import that maps, map alpine sounds. Here we go. So you import the sounds file temporarily into your game. Just don't save your map with the sound file in it, because otherwise you're going to have a big problem. All right, so if you open the audio group, you'll find these the 3 things: details shared. All right, so there's Alphorn. If you select the sound, press F, it will take you to where it's actually originating. And you can see this thing has got a huge audio range. It's got 3,000 meters of audio range. So that is really an ambient sound. It's like it's out there in the distance of the map. So I'm just showing to you. You can then easily duplicate the sound in here and just replace it or add another one to your map by just duplicating the sound that you like. These, for instance, in the harbor, there's all those things in the harbor. There's some factories, silo, and then environment is the river, the lake. So I don't know if you guys have had maps with a annoying sound somewhere on the map. You drive and there's a water rushing under the map, but there's nothing on the map itself, so this is a way where you can see actually where the water is. So for instance, the river, if you look at the river sound node river loop B. So if you press F on that, so there's a river sound playing in this thing, and it is 80 meters in range. So I don't know why they've got a river sound here. That's actually quite strange. In the middle of the town. But anyway, river loop. So that kind of thing. Then you can actually take this river loop and actually move it about, rather put the river loop B into a spot where it's more relevant, like there's a river here, you know, that type of thing. And there's some lake sounds, and fauna, for instance, is birds. If you want to add birds or whatever to your map, you can have birds chirping and whatever just by duplicating one of these seagulls, and then in your XML right on top where you get your files, it should list your seagull. Let me just do a F, Control F, seagull. Mind you, it's not in the XML. It gets configured in the i3D. If you open the i3D in the editor, you can actually change the paths to that, and in here, there you'll see seagull is here. There we go. This is all the WAV files that's in your whole map. So you can change this and then move this about. What's nice now is you also got the translation is positioning for it. So if you for instance add a lake sound or a bird sound or whatever, you can change the positioning for it. But it's actually, to do that, it's actually much easier to add that into your map here by the i3D, because then you can visualize it, you know. So you can place the audio there, and it will, if you export that audio back over itself, for instance, what you will do is you select the audio group. Once you've let me actually do one for you, just for interest's sake. Let's grab one of those seagulls, Seagull 04, and then we're going to go Control D. Okay, we've got another seagull, and let's make that Seagull 05 then, just for interest's sake. Now I can manipulate this Seagull 05 now with its own audio sound and everything. So what I'm going to do is just place that seagull. Let's say this one has ventured away a bit off into the map, you know. Control B, place it around here. Well, let's put it on the main farm, you know. The main farm is up here. Let's let the seagull sound audio thingamabobby run here at the main farm. Control B, put it there. You see there's that little speaker for the seagull, and now you can change its audio range and everything that you like, and the volume for it. You'll see where's the volume on this. Volume is 1. Wow, word, that is loud. But it all depends also a lot on how you've recorded that sound, if the sound volume is high in the recording or not. So yeah, you'll have to play around with it. If it's too loud, test it in game. If it's too loud, then yeah, just put it a bit softer. I'm going to rather put it here, and then let's make the range just 90 meters for interest, so it will cover only the farm. All right, so now guys, now that we've modified the seagull sound, I can now grab this audio group, go File, Export Selection, Export Selection. We can just do Export Selection, and then go to the sound i3D, and then you go Save, and you say yes, I want to replace it, and that is it. Interesting. Okay, so now if I now go into, I'm not going to save. Remember I said don't save your map with that file in it. So we're going to reload the i3D for the sound, and if I now go in here, I should have another actually there won't be another one here, because there's only the four WAV sounds, but there should be a Seagull 05. So if I do Control F, Seagull 05, I should find Seagull 05. There it is. You see, so there's the exact positioning for it, the volume, everything. I can even change it in here if I want. And then I can now also, if I want another audio file, I can add another file ID here on top. So you just copy a line, Control C, make a new line, Control V, and then just bring that nice, make it look nice like that. And then just check your audio files. I'm just going to put a 0 next to it so that it's unique, and then we will give this this sound file obviously to your own directory of your map, and then go back to Seagull 05, and then you change that file ID to 250 so that it corresponds to the new one, all right, that you've just added. That means that this Seagull 05 will now link to file ID 250, and you go up there, that will be 250, so it will play that new bird sound of yours. All right, so now you've got Seagull 05 in there. I'm not going to save it because I haven't got I haven't got anything linked to that, so I'm just going to leave it as it was. So I'm just going to save it. All right, and then now the last thing to do is now to just quickly open the map, quickly open the game rather, not the map, and then we will just run a test there in the farm to hear if we hear the seagull there. While that is opening, oh, I'm not going to have time enough to do that. I wanted to quickly just do something. Just wait to set the sound a bit softer, because otherwise I'm going to hear myself. That was a test map. Okay, so while that is playing, I just want to open that Sound i3D again. Just want to have a quick browse there. Control F, Seagull 5. We did the range 90 and the inner 30. So I want to have a look. Loops. If you change the loops on that, that means how many times will it play it. At the moment it will only do it once, which is fine because you don't want it to be annoying, you know. So yeah, that will be good. So let us have a check. Right. Just want to see if I can hear the seagull. Oh, it did play it. I heard it. Because we are at the farm at the moment. So if I now go out of that range, there it is again. Did you hear that? That's the seagull sound. So I'm going to run out and then run back. We should hear it again. Doesn't want to play now. I think it's also got a timer, guys, so that it doesn't do it a lot of time. Remember, it was only once. But anyway, guys, that's how you fiddle around with the sound on your map. A lot of you guys have asked me about the sound, so I thought I'll just make a video on how to edit your sound on the map. So that is everything to do with sound on the map itself, as well as the ambient sounds, and that you can modify those and play around with that to your heart's content. I hope it's been helpful and interesting. You guys have a wonderful day. I'll catch you on the next one. Cheers.